Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we are back to Zero Time Dilemma. Had to pause there for a second and think about where we are. So we were able to do this timeline, and that has finally filled out this top tier, which oddly, this entire top tier in this timeline focuses on this row as the red team, except for in this scenario, so almost certainly this is the scenario where the red team died. But once we did do all of the Radical 6 and chose whether to inject ourselves or not, it showed us a cutscene that then linked directly into the blue timelines of suppression and outbreak. So even the names in this branch does seem to very much center around the Radical 6 virus, with there being a press the button or don't press the button, and if you press the button you blow yourself up, or use the bomb to blow yourself up, or don't use the bomb to blow yourself up. And so it probably would be helpful to instead watch this cutscene again, but I'm going to just leave that for something else. Now, unfortunately, I doubt going through this is going to give us enough information to do anything else. So we're probably going to need to do something, another memory fragment after this. So this is right after Sigma tries to stop the bomb after saying he wasn't going to stop the bomb. And so Sigma was in this acid-filled decontamination chamber. Boy, that's a little gory.
No.
Now,
Sigma!
What's funny here is if you remember all of the twists in Virtue's Last Reward, the game before this, I believe Sigma in the future does have 2 robotic arms.
We need to get him medical attention.
This is still in line with the timeline of the second game.
I'll go check the other room.
The reason why he needed to run in there and try and stop the bomb, which he failed to do, is...
It's okay. The shower's stopped, and the door's gone. We're getting out of here. Come on.
Is that an entire other team was on the other side of the door, knocked out. So, in this case...
Please, no!
They've cheated.
Damn it. Why?
Q
This child.
doesn't seem to be stabbed.
Why? Such a small
Eric
child.
seems to have been infected maybe with the Radical 6. Or the FBR. Actually, feels more like he was infected with the FBR.
Hey.
And Mira
Are you alright?
is probably just faking being hurt.
Why? Where are the others?
Now, of course, we know Mira,
I see.
definitely at this point,
They're all dead.
is a
I'll be joining them soon.
sociopath killer.
Zero told us. It was you, wasn't it? You set the bomb. That's okay. You deserve something nice in return.
So we saw in the different timeline, Mira had
What
stolen
did you just inject me with?
the Radical 6
Maybe you've heard of it. That
virus.
Radical 6.
So this timeline effectively
If someone infected with the virus was to go outside,
creates the timeline that creates the second
mankind,
game,
6 billion people?
assuming they actually
die.
leave the facility.
What? Did you...
Well,
Do you like it? My present to you.
So this makes Mira even crazier, and that's a odd pose, certainly. Like, I don't see why there wouldn't be an ending here, though, where you would just stay in the bomb facility.
No.
Who knew this would happen?
The bomb, they
A body
put
like this. Phi injected with Radical 6.
the bomb, though, I
Everything
think
points
was
to a
to
single truth.
try to blow up
what truth?
the decontamination room
It
door
seems
to the
this
next
history
area.
is the one that connects to that future. Well, I guess for Phi, it would be the past.
Like, it wasn't to try to blow up the X door, I don't believe.
Diana, you
Or maybe it
must
was.
not use this lift.
What are you saying? We need to get you to a hospital as soon as possible, or...
Don't worry about me.
No. The two of you need to get out of here. I am the only one who should stay.
There's no point. A rescue team will eventually show up if Diana and I get to the surface. And you know, they'll come down and get you too.
Then, kill me. Kill me and burn my remains. Now! Fine. There's no other way. That's the only way to keep the virus from spreading.
I kind of agree with her.
Come on, hurry. 6
But I
billion
feel
lives
like
are on the line.
Radical 6 is
I can't.
likely to already be
There's
spread.
no way I can't do that.
Like, who knows it's not in Zero? Or...
Diana,
I don't even remember the
you know
timeline
what you're doing, right?
with the taser, when she got the
I
taser.
do. I'm going to save you and Phi.
So in a funny way, Diana here is a bad person by not being willing or able to sacrifice these 3 people, because they're bringing Q up also. But yeah, if there's 3 vials of Radical 6 already inside this bomb facility, then there's obviously other vials of Radical 6 around. They can be spread around.
This is Control. I repeat, this is Control. Please come in. I'm asking you to respond.
I wonder if it's going to give me a choice at all. Probably not.
This is
We're probably just
Diana.
going to get cutscenes.
Thank God, you really had me worried there. What happened?
6 of us are dead.
I think more than 6.
Counting myself, there are only 3 left.
How? Why are...
I guess that would be Diana,
They were
Sigma,
killed.
and Phi.
What?
So they're saying they took the bodies of Q
I
and other
guess you
people.
could say I killed them.
Hmm.
No. No, that's not quite right. Not just them. Not just these 6. All of them. All 6 billion. Soon, I will have killed 6 billion people.
Are you there? Respond!
I suppose this was meant to be.
But yeah, you definitely don't want the
Let's
story
put
to
our
actually
hope in the
end
next
this
Sigma.
way.
The me will return here from the future.
Like, this would be a terrible way to end this trilogy of the game, to just say it's happening. Oh yeah, there was this whole Red Moon element that was kind of a red herring in Virtue's Last Reward. That's why they're showing a red moon there. And I imagine we're just going to get credits again. Yep. Pretty sure it's the same audio and same credits each time, so let's just hit the button. There, we've gotten another achievement. D and 1 is now available to us, and we can only hit B to go back. And maybe there's something canonical in that idea. All the sections of Outbreak have now been unlocked. We definitely want to save. So now we have 2 keys, as it were, to probably unlock something else. But noticeably, that did not show this timeline. So at some point, something else we're going to do is going to let us jump to this timeline. But this is still locked. We still don't have the code for this. This is still locked. This is still locked. We still don't have Q's name. This is still locked. And there's nothing else. So, did that unlock anything new in any of the timelines? No. So let's watch this. I imagine this memory fragment in particular is one that is pretty big. You can see it's fairly branched out, although really it's just kind of spreading the splits a little bit more than usual. But yeah, this was the sequence that was used in the trailers and advertisements for this game that made it feel a lot more like a Jigsaw movie, a Saw movie, than any of the other escape room sections. And it's almost completely false advertising now, since we've seen most of this game. There's really not death traps in the game. There are escape rooms in the game. There are decisions, usually mathematically based decisions, that might end in the death of a player. But it's nothing close to a death trap like a Saw movie, where you have to potentially saw off your leg to escape, or where you are not supposed to go through a door or you'll get shot. There's a lot of more, but they're all super complicated and hard to remember, frankly, if you haven't watched a Saw movie in a while. It's worth pointing out also that there is something that very much looks like a Jigsaw death trap that is used as the thumbnail for this game, but it has a completely different character that's unrecognizable.
Wait, where's Vi?
I don't know.
You don't know?
When I woke up, she was already
This will
gone.
be the second time
Maybe she managed to get out
in
of this
which
room.
Do you
Vi
think we can?
is, or in which a character
It opened.
is not
Sigma,
with
it
the
opened.
group.
And?
Well, I didn't really expect it to, so...
So it does seem like Vi
Vi!
is still alive.
What the hell are you doing in there?
Cutting my next album? What do you think I'm doing? I'm locked in here.
You're locked in?
Why?
How should I know? This is where I was when I woke up. Stuck inside this incinerator.
But we're in a different timeline now, so she's probably not infected.
Hang on, we'll get you out now. Damn it! It's locked.
Is there a keyhole?
I don't see one. Probably an electronic lock.
So we're getting kind of a slow setup for an escape room. It'd be funny if there was no escape room at all. Once again, we have something that feels like it would be a something that has an actual time requirement, but
Either stop the incinerator startup or unlock the door.
that doesn't make
Okay. I'll see if I
Makes
can do
sense.
anything on this side.
I'm counting on you.
That should be my line. Hey, I'd like to avoid the worst sunburn of my life in here.
Let's hurry.
Right.
And we heard the computer talk in that case, not Zero. Right, so we'll take a gas torch as an item. We'll assume that we can't do anything with the panel. We need a 3 combination key there. We'll see what's in the locker. A mask with goggles. Okay, now apparently we can see things. And a toolbox. Let's see. Screwed shut. Well then let's combine that with that. Okay. When we have the goggles equipped, we can see something more here. So we have a screwdriver. Alright. 2 screws and a screwdriver. This door is locked. We have a button with 4 screws. Once again, it seems like we're going to end up... Let's see, stop. Says tick here. Okay. So we see tick. Also have a gun. A lot of panel things. Let's go ahead and do this. Look around. So we're supposed to use the torch on tick. Or we have a screwed shut thing. Well, I guess unless this is letters on this code, I'm missing something, so let's just see if TIC, and it wants something in grams, 2 screws and a screwdriver. This feels like this might be a scale here. So what are we supposed to use to weld? A little hand torch like this is probably unlikely to just let you melt the screws off in a reasonable amount of time. well, maybe a screwdriver would be at some ratio higher than the screws, so maybe it was supposed to be like 119. It could also be 118, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we'd still have to brute force it there by then going 2, 2 if it isn't that, then 1, 2, 3, then just a general ratio doesn't help. And that is also making a big assumption that that there is that's what that even means. Jeez, what am I missing? Boy, do these escape rooms really just suck. Let's see, maybe if there's something written here as far as how many milliliters these. Like, no, there's no grams or milliliters or anything written on that. Tick. Must be some sort of hint. TIC. Tick screwdriver. Tick screwdriver. Yeah, and you can see how if there was a real time effect here, you would just fail, and that's pretty much true for any Saw scenarios, that you're just not going to run into the right choice. There we got one more cinematic item file, not that it matters. There isn't anything else here we can use. They're specifically telling you that. We don't have any screws. We don't have any screwdrivers. Oh. It was right there in front of my face. Wasn't it? The whole time. Yeah, that's a problem. And certainly this game is exhausting me. It didn't even ask me to check. Or that should be the right answer. Good, the shutter opened. I did it. Now I can see in here. Try to look for something useful. You can see 5 from here. Hey, are you okay? Blah 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 blah. So you talk through the window, and you now can you can now control by 2. Now we have a flathead screwdriver. Let's go ahead and see if we can use the flathead screwdriver. 188 pounds. I'll hold on to the screws just in case. Now we have 2 screws and a screwdriver. 188 pounds does not equal grams easily. Screws are 22, so they're 11 grams. The screwdriver is 133. So 155 in total, I guess. Thermometer. Hmm. It's impossible to send things from this side. Okay. Well, we got the information we needed, but oddly they didn't really communicate that information unless she was talking out loud, which maybe she was. We'll just have to assume she was. Hmm. Hmm. Drop the gas torch down the chute. Got it. So now she has the gas torch, which I suppose we could weigh that. 360 grams, just in case. And we can see if maybe we can heat up the thermometer. So now we have a coin. So we want to test if we can send a toolbox to her, and we can. So now what's inside of it is a puzzle, and it is basically a very similar puzzle to what we've already seen, and the music can be as dramatic as it wants, but this puzzle is not going to really instill in me a sense of urgency any more than normal. And this puzzle certainly does not feel worthy of what it's doing. Now, it may be a case in this instance that there's just more gaps. Because, yeah, I really don't see a need to try and fill up every single square in this case. Let's see. So, if I move this down one and then rotate this, that still works. But that doesn't work otherwise. Yeah, I have a hard time believing that this is in any other way wrong, which must mean we do something with this, which must mean we do something with this, which means we can put that there. Yeah, definitely a lot more gaps compared to the last one of these puzzles, but very out of place puzzle. Just really has no business existing. Frankly, I would have just preferred a 5-minute cutscene of this whole sequence. And I guess if you were to turn this into an anime, that's exactly what they would do, is they would combine all the existing cutscenes with creating new cutscenes, and then they'd almost certainly reanimate everything to look a lot better. Bottom compartment opens up. Max out the needle. We already did that. The note's no help. That's another example, though, of the game just like wasting your time and having elements. Really just wasting the player's time to see if we can combine things. Nope. I don't know what else to do here. This needle. We have a coin now. It's another one of these lucky 777 coins. But that feels like that very possibly is supposed to be a big thing. Or a reoccurring thing. Those were the letters to open the shutter. So maybe now we're doing a screw puzzle to unscrew this with the coin. Let's go ahead and hit the button. And then this brings up a ridiculous jigsaw-like contraption that you would sit down in. Oh my god, my hands are still intact. Something came out of the floor. What is that? It kind of looks like a chair from here. We should try sitting on it. Hey, don't be hasty. Nothing happened. You can see how Diana, as a character, is too short for the chair to really line up. So it's basically designed for Sigma. I imagine Phi would be too short also. Remember, we have seen in at least one timeline the implication that Diana has split personalities and that she is a killer or a bad girl. And we just saw an ending in which she killed everybody. So who knows? So he sits down and then immediately grabs him. What? What the hell? I can't move. Incineration in 3 minutes. Hey Sigma, Diana, what the hell's going on? I think we tripped something. I'm restrained, but Diana's fine. What did you say? No. Why did it? It was fine when I sat on it, so why? Take a deep breath, Diana. We can get past this if we just deal with it calmly. This really feels like something that should have been a cutscene. Or, okay, hold on. I'll find a way to get you out. I'm counting on you, Phi. First. She doesn't have much time left. So then that drops the gun. Don't forget to look behind you. The box that hung from the ceiling dropped. Okay. So now we have a chain box with a gun in it. The keyhole is hexagonal. Oh. What would be a hexagonal key? Do we stick it up in this? Or wonder what would happen if we push a button. Are we missing something else in this room? Or are we just supposed to throw this through here? Oddly, this does have Diane not really doing much. Padlock, the hole is shaped like a hexagon. What would fit in here? Maybe we could combine this with this. screws won't work. 133 grams. You can't flip out that screwdriver. Then I opened the lock, pull the chain up. Got it. See, that doesn't even make sense that you had a chain through it. I wasn't even paying attention. And it doesn't make sense that a flathead screwdriver would open a hexagon lock. And this, like a lot of decisions, is just going to come down to it's going to come straight down to the idea of, do you want to actively be responsible for killing somebody, or do you want to passively be responsible for killing somebody? Because either way, somebody's potentially going to die. You don't know for certain that the incinerator is actually going to turn on. You don't know for certain that the gun will actually fire a bullet. We're going to get another backstory.
As a result, after a falsely accused man was sentenced to death, his wife took her own life.
Like,
A taxi driver died in an accident, along with his passenger, a surgeon. The child, who awaited a critical operation, also perished. 6 people altogether. Why did these 6 die? Because of a snail. A single
the same story over and over again.
the lives of 6 people. No one, not just 6, but 6 billion. 6 billion people will lose their lives as a result of that lone snail.
It almost makes it feel like
Life is
6 of the people in this facility were the people that actually died in this story, and they have been resurrected somehow.
It should be clear that a revolver is set up beside the chair right now. It contains 6 rounds. 3 are live, and 3 are blank.
Well, your odds are great then.
Randomized within the chamber. Pull the trigger, and the odds a live round will fire from the gun are 6 to 3.
Now, it's a revolver, so the hammer gets cocked back and hits the blasting cap up.
It automatically opens the moment it detects the sound of the revolver's discharge. Live round or blank, it doesn't matter which is fired.
I don't get where that 188 pounds comes from.
3 minutes remain until the incinerator fires. What will you do? Pull the trigger, or refrain? Diana, both of their lives rest upon your
And a normal person would just be like paralyzed and do nothing.
Shit! God damn it!
There's no time, Diana. Pull the trigger.
What?
You pull the
Logically,
trigger,
Which one has more to gain? If we don't pull that
like you have a
trigger,
100% chance
I'd
of
obviously stay
fly.
alive. My chance at survival would clearly be 100%. But then it guaranteed Phi's death, as her survival rate would be 0. What happens if we do pull it then? The incinerator door would open, and Phi escapes. Chance of survival, 100%. And this choice still allows for the possibility that I may live. A blank round. My head doesn't suddenly have a new hole. It's 50-50. So you understand, right? It's
You
either
have
100
him
and 0,
lean
or 100
out of the
and 50.
path of the bullet as best as you
It's
can,
obvious which one is
and
the
you
wiser
stick your
choice.
hand in front of the gun,
Dare you not even consider
or
everyone
stick
else's
something
feelings,
else
Sigma?
in front of the gun to try
What
and
if the
deflect
shot
the
is a live
bullet or
bullet?
slow it down.
Do you really want Diana to end up blowing your head off with her own hand?
Like shooting
But
through your hand, then shooting somebody in the
Pull the trigger.
head lowers the odds of it killing him.
Don't worry about me.
no.
Diana, please, listen to me. What would be the most ideal outcome from this?
Isn't it obvious that both of you
Does
stay
Sigma
alive?
weigh 188 pounds, I
Think.
wonder?
Which one of those choices has that result as a possibility? If you don't pull it at all, one of us will definitely die. If you really want to save both of us.
I'll have to pull the trigger. Diana, no!
You shut up!
You know,
Begins in 20 seconds.
I don't think the way the gun's being held here would prevent you
Don't
from
worry. Just trust.
removing the bullets and looking to see if they're blanks or not. It's fairly obvious to tell whether they are a blank. Alright, so let's go ahead and not pull the trigger this time just because I haven't... I'm talking right now. But yeah, it would be really, really easy even in that position to, unless they've modified the gun, to look at it, remove all the live bullets, put 3 blank bullets in a row, and pull the trigger at that point.
Incineration commencing.
Come on!
Yep.
Stop this, please!
It's the 188
Zero! Zero! You can hear me, right?
that gets me here.
I don't care what happens to me! So please! Save Phi! Just save Phi!
And again, this is very much
That's
like a Jigsaw movie.
from you, Sigma. Thank you.
Seemingly the whole, like, brooch on her chest
You can't blame yourself. No matter
doesn't
what.
matter. I think maybe the
You made
brooch
right decision.
had an importance in Virtue's Last Reward, but I can't even remember what it meant.
It's weird.
It's like her
but
mother gave it to her or
I
something.
feel like we'll see each other again. So I'm not going to say goodbye. I want the two of you to keep on living.
In a funny way, I guess this
I love you.
pushes the idea of a romance potentially in the future between Diana and Sigma. Flame effects here are pretty awful, but no, for a 2DS, 3DS game it would have been fine. One of these days I'll get used to just saying 3DS instead of 2DS/3DS. And really when I'm saying 2DS I'm kind of thinking just a DS, not the actual 2DS. They removed the 3D out of a 3DS. So he was released from the chair after the incineration happened. There was no guarantee that was going to happen. And again, it's worth pointing out, I think, that the timeline does not match in some way that, like, Diana and Sigma would have a child and then Phi would be that child and then she'd go back in time.
Incineration complete. Door now opening.
So, another thing I think you would want to point out here is that if they actually did need to incinerate somebody because of Radical 6, I don't know if you really could start the incinerator in a normal fashion. Maybe it was that Diana gives that bracelet or that brooch to Phi in the future. So,
What are you doing over here?
2 days ago we're getting a
Just wanted
flashback
To be alone for a while.
to what happened
Something
before the
the matter?
beginning of the game.
No,
That's
not
interesting.
really. It's been 3 days since I came to DCOM. But nothing's happened. Nothing strange at all.
Isn't that a good thing?
I think at the end of Virtue's Last Reward they really rushed the decom, so
What's that?
the events happening now
It's a memento
may
from my
be
mother.
like
think.
3 events
You're not sure?
3 days
And the
after
old
the
couple
events of the
raised me.
previous game.
They were researchers, but we weren't related by blood at all.
They were your foster parents.
They told me what happened. They said that my mother died immediately after giving birth to me.
There's another
And
trick
she
where they're
left me
covering
this
the face
brooch.
with the hand, so they don't have to animate the
See.
lip flap.
What about your father?
I don't know. There aren't any leads either.
Oh. I think I see something written on the back of this.
It's Latin.
What does it mean?
Not even Jupiter can find a lost opportunity. What was my mother trying to tell me? I've thought about it for so long. Maybe there's no specific point to it at all.
This really is the kind of characterization you
I
really
still
would
feel
have
like I'm
wanted
missing some kind of important
at the
message within
beginning
it.
of the game for all the
Not
characters.
even gods can return to the past. So live in the moment, so you have no regrets. That's not the right interpretation?
Well, if you take it at face value, I
Yep.
guess that makes sense if I was a normal human being.
Does that mean that you're not?
I'm not talking as much now because this is actually interesting backstory.
Hey, Diana. I want to ask you something. Would you mind giving me a hug?
Huh?
I'm just really tired. Thanks. This feels really relaxing.
Probably worth mentioning,
This
Japanese
is all you need then.
tend not to
It's no
touch each
problem.
other unless they are very closely
Could we maybe
familiar
stay
with
like
each
this for a
other
while?
or related.
I don't mind.
Hey, this isn't normal, right?
It is. You're a completely normal girl, Fi.
You're really nice.
People tell me it's a fault of mine.
Thanks.
You already said that.
Okay. Good night then.
Good night, Fi.
And I'll take that scene as face value to not imply a kind of potential lesbian relationship, and just take it as a good friendship between two females. They certainly could have gone that route. Certainly, it would have spiced things up a little bit. Have Mira potentially two-timing Eric with a female character. It would make a lot of sense for Mira to potentially try and manipulate a lot of people using her body, and that would explain why Mira dresses the way she is dressed. But yeah, if you think about the movie Alien, the first in the Alien series, that really wouldn't have been a good movie if you didn't have that first 30 minutes or so of setting up the characters on the Nostromo. I believe that was the name of the ship. Those are all new words.
Q team, huh? They must have been executed. The vote at
But yeah,
13:30.
had the Alien movie started just showing an alien,
Stabbed us in the back, huh, Carlos?
it wouldn't have been as impactful as setting up the characters. So then when you start to see aliens and start to see people you've grown to like and care about
Plans are
die,
proceeding smoothly. And it's all thanks to you, Diana.
Zero.
Now it is time for you to sleep. When next you wake, know you will have no memory of these past 90 minutes. Pleasant dreams.
so any sequence in this timeline after that point obviously wouldn't have Phi in it. So, did we unlock anything after that point? Kinda doesn't seem like we did. Where were we, even? Don't press the button. The bomb. I guess we're here. Gun versus the incinerator. So, it seems like there's an entirely different timeline that we're gonna have to figure out some way to get to, and I don't know how we figure out how to get to that. I almost feel like I have to go back this way and try and weigh something else in the room that's 188 pounds. Would the gun be 188 pounds? No. Would the case around it be 188 pounds? Shouldn't be. Only a person would be 188 pounds. And I tried to stand on it. So let's jump to this decision first. And pull the trigger.
It appears the preparations are complete.
There is something certainly about the creator of this game that the way he depicts women characters, it is fairly heteronormative.
No.
It doesn't cross his mind that there would be girl on girl or guy relationships. In fact, it doesn't even really cross the creator of this game's writing or mind to potentially write characters that are actually nice to each other in a romance. There we get an achievement. Called calculated risk. We may very well just have to try pulling the trigger a couple times to see if the bullet was real or not.
Sigma? Sigma! Hey, you alright? Are you hurt?
Oh.
Huh?
Damn, my ears really hurt. They're killing me. That might have ruptured my eardrum.
Yeah, that's fairly believable. They would rupture an eardrum. We might have to make that choice 2 or 3 times more to get
The hell were you
the
thinking,
other
Diana?
idea.
Why did you pull that trigger? We got lucky that it was a blank. But if it'd been live, then Sigma...
Hey, it's all right. Everything turned out fine.
There's no
So
way I'll accept that the end justified
that kind of
the means.
ruins Diana
Listen,
and
Sigma. Diana made the
Phi's
decision.
relationship.
It was her choice to pull that trigger. That means she didn't care that there was a 50% chance you'd die.
So, where are you going with this? It was to save you. And she did. She saved your life.
It puts suspicion
You should
on her.
probably be thanking her.
I didn't ask for any help.
And certainly they're trying to have this split between a 20-year-old mind of Phi and a 60-plus-year-old mind of Sigma.
Damn. I can't believe it.
So,
And see, now that
because
there's
of the vote
2 of them,
1330,
they're probably
they
going to
were
kill
executed.
Diana.
But even Q.
He had to deal with a handicap. He probably didn't even realize something was wrong.
That's an odd sentence, but
Oh.
What's wrong, Diana?
now she's having memories of
You
being
too?
choked, and so is he.
What? What's happening?
I think we were poisoned. Probably while we were asleep. Why? Who really cares right now? We only need to save.
Gab!
They were poisoned, and now Gab slowly is walking to them.
Wait! These are...
These are antidote. Please drink them, Akane.
We're saved!
So
Gab! He brought us the antidote!
this connects with the other timeline where they got 6 antidotes because 6 people were poisoned,
Come on! Let's drink these!
Wait,
which almost
Hold on.
certainly means that
what did it say on
the
note?
cutscene.
These are the antidote. Please drink them.
Yeah,
Akane.
we would have been locked to not see this cutscene if we hadn't seen the
It's
other
fine.
the
It's
other
from Akane.
part of the
We
story.
can trust her. The handwriting
But we probably
is
wouldn't have
definitely hers.
seen
Carlos.
anything different.
Could have threatened her to write it. When we voted, Carlos chose Q Team. Their note said that they'd vote for D Team.
Then that whole note was a lie?
I don't know.
You're
But it's
dying
not
at
a
this point.
stretch
It
to
doesn't
imagine
matter.
that
Just drink the antidote.
Carlos
They can't
intends to
poison
kill
you
all of us.
more.
If we get knocked off, then C Team can get out of here.
So
Well, I
you're
guess they
saying
could
that these
poison you
aren't
more.
an antidote, but
Exactly. They might be poison.
No. I can't believe that. We already had a concoction pumped into our veins that's killing us. Why bother doubling down on the poison? Let's count on C-Team. Regardless. If
In
we
this
don't do
timeline,
anything, we'll...
Carlos is still alive, I think.
You choose. Diana, you saved all of us before. I'll trust you to do it.
Big blue up pupils in her eyes. Very anime-esque to have pupils that giant. Yeah, there's really no reason. If you're gonna die, dying faster of poison is probably preferable anyways. Drink it.
I'm gonna trust in C-Team too.
Yeah, in a real Saw movie, you wouldn't have had time to actually discuss it.
I
So,
still don't
Potentially, the
What
scene
in
would
the
have stopped
world
at
is
that
C-Team
point also,
thinking?
if something had
They have
happened.
a fight?
You mean Akane and Carlos took opposite stances?
It's the only explanation that makes sense. Akane sent Gab with the antidote in order to save us. But that would have been an incredibly unfavorable outcome for Carlos. If that wasn't what he wanted, then he wouldn't have voted for Q-Team.
Aren't you thinking too hard?
I guess
really
the
doubt that
reveal
Carlos
might be
intended
here.
for Q-Team to be executed.
How can you be so sure?
Well, he's an honorable firefighter who saves lives.
Simple-minded as always. We've only known and lived with him for 5 days.
I wonder
How could we have any
if there are
idea
still
what you're
just some
thinking.
timeline
No,
events that
It's not
happened
an issue of time.
after the first
It's
vote
just
where
not that easy to see a person's true self.
they just killed
Even yours, Vi?
C Team
Yeah.
in this
Does
branch.
that mean you're hiding something from us?
Yes.
What is it?
Don't laugh, okay?
I guess we're getting more backstory
My
for
hair
Phi.
is actually red.
No duh. Look at your eyebrows.
I said not to laugh.
But I mean,
It's a big deal for me, okay? I have a complex over it.
So that color.
It's dyed. I figured I may as well make it something unique.
well, I'm a redhead too.
Yeah. You're being rude to Diana.
Well, it looks good on her, of course. I mean, try to picture it. My face, but with red hair.
Aw, I think it'd be super cute.
Not too bad. It'd be
Almost.
a good look for you.
Wonder if somehow Phi is Diana and Sigma's daughter and they just sent her back in time somehow.
It seems you three are okay.
Zero.
It's
Now
good
what's weird is
to
this
rejoice
branch
while you can.
kind of needs to
Look forward.
figure out a way to kill Akane and Carlos and anybody else that's still
What does
alive.
that mean?
Now it is time for you to sleep. When next you wake, know you will have no memory of these past 90 minutes. Pleasant dreams.
A lot of these lines of dialogue are just getting repeated. Like, have the voice actor say, now is the time for you to sleep. You won't have any memory of this last 90 minutes several times. Okay. So that only gets us this far in the storyline, which means we need to run back to this point, I think, and just pull the trigger again and see what happens if it kills him for a different branching timeline. It seems kind of odd too that nobody's taking the gun with them. Push the button, pull the trigger as fast as possible to see if there's an achievement around that. So we can skip this.
Sigma? Sigma! Hey, you alright? Are you hurt?
Oh.
Huh?
Okay. So that didn't go the way we wanted. So let's go back to the flow and see if we can just jump back to this point. Again. We don't have to actually go all the way through with it. Of course, if this is actually
Pull the trigger.
scripted,
What?
Logically. Which what?
this will always be a blank. Then it goes white, so
Oh.
Huh?
Damn. My ears really hurt. They're killing.
okay.
me.
I'll do it one more time, but it does feel like there's seemingly no chance that it won't be a blank. The odd that you would get lucky 3 times in a row with the blank is a little high. Statistically, with infinite amounts of times and gun pulls, yes. But the other problem with this branch, yep, we're not seeing the skip button, so this time it did shoot him. The story right below this branch wants you to roll 3 ones with a dice, which is just like a statistic impossibility. Hmm. $50-50 is worth replaying. Rolling a dice for hours upon hours, if not days upon days, to get a different ending doesn't make sense.
Why did you do it? You murderer! Murderer! I didn't matter at all. I didn't. So why? Why did you?
It's interesting when you see the little fashion accessories, looking at the shoes and the skirt and all of that. Interesting. Is she going to pick up the gun and shoot herself? Or is she going to pick up the gun and
Please
shoot?
wait for me, Sigma. I'll be joining you soon.
Wait! Diana! Stop! Diana!
Now, does that, at that point, create a scenario where 6 people have died? Possibly, but probably not. And that just gives you a straight up game over, which none of that makes any sense at all. Let's go ahead and do a safety save. I still think we're on the all teams path. The amount of hours we put into this is nowhere accurate on that case. We definitely haven't been playing this game for 50 hours, but we've probably been playing it a lot more. Yep. So in this branch, you get a game over, which I guess indicates it's a bad ending for at least that team, and yet that branch connects. If anything, it feels like what they really did is they've played fairly fast and loose with the idea of a branching narrative, and they've just taken like this branch, which probably should have been its own separate branch, and just added it at the end of a bad end to just keep everything nice on one screen. Otherwise, this has not unlocked or informed any other choices or decisions. We are just filling in the flowchart. And I guess it's pretty obvious if this is not the kind of gameplay you want to play, you shouldn't play this game. Because this is all there is. It's just branching timelines and
Let's drink these. Wait.
the weird
Hold on.
system
What
of
did it
interaction
say on the
in
note?
between branching timelines. How different timelines affect other timelines. And while that is true for a lot of branching path visual novels, and usually in a lot of visual novels, if you have those kinds of branching paths, you probably need a walkthrough or a guide to help you. It usually is much closer to a generic idea of if you date girl A, you'll get the ending for girl A versus dating girl B to get the ending with girl B. It's not if you date girl A, you'll find a secret out about girl B that lets you go further in your relationship with girl B that then unlocks a secret about girl C. And I'm using the example of girls in that case because so many branching timeline paths of visual novels are around dating your pick of girls in a harem in a visual novel. And in the contrast to that, you can definitely see why a game like Zero Time Dilemma might appeal to some people. Is if you've grown up your entire life mostly playing dating simulators, a game that's sci-fi and is about trying not to get killed feels very different and kind of interesting.
Diana! What are you doing?
I think Fi was right about them. There's poison in the vials.
This dog is
What
so
the hell?
weird.
Call the reason we're writhing and groaning.
Maybe it's some kind of pain drug. It shouldn't
This
kill
dog
us.
doesn't seem to care if people lie down on the
We
ground.
just...
It doesn't lick their face. Doesn't seem like it cares about the vials being broken on the ground. He just sits and does nothing. I half wonder if the dog is a robot. So nothing really surprising there either. I really wasn't expecting there to be anything extra there. So that is where we just did all number 9 of 9. And I still don't know where these numbers are coming from, but there is a whole screen here. There's 4 of 8 endings or something here. Did we get all the other numbers and other things? Not really. So, if anything, it feels like the smaller collection of cutscenes is the culmination of several endings and memory fragments to kind of compress it down. So 4 of 4 here very possibly might mean getting the 4 good endings on this, or getting 2 of these endings, or just 1 of these endings. Did that open up anything more? The don't drink kills you. The drink doesn't let you go any further. Didn't unlock anything. So, the nice news here is that visually looking at this, we are a lot closer to the end of the game than we could be. It definitely seems like there's maybe a memory fragment here in total with an escape room. Maybe a memory fragment here with a total escape room. And maybe an escape room here, but very possibly not. Some of these very bottom dots also are not really cutscenes or escape rooms, so the columns aren't as long as they might actually be. It is still a concern that you will have a whole bunch of cutscenes and a whole bunch of escape rooms on that true ending. There might be one memory path here and one memory path here, but that's kind of it. So fairly quickly we will have almost everything done, and we will just be in a very different type of gameplay where we are 100% focused on a more chronological story narrative revelation of the true path. At that point though, I don't know if people, or if I in particular, am going to really care about going back and playing the game a second time and trying to see the story, even the true path, in a chronological order. I may very well, at the end of the game, just decide to say, well, okay, we did this, and just look at the flow path here, and just remind myself as far as what the true ending chronological order is, and pretty much forget about it. This lock here is kind of uniquely high up. Doing everything we've done now has not unlocked anything new. So there are still 4 memory fragments for C team. There are 3 lock segments for Q team, and there is 1 lock segment for D team. And every path memory fragment we do now is going to be around the force quit box, which we really haven't learned anything about the force quit box at all. The introduction of the force quit box as a memory late in the game does potentially also open the idea of potentially there being the choking collars in the force quit box and people putting them on voluntarily, maybe not knowing that it was going to end up killing them and strangling them. So, but that would open up the possibility that any of the 3 teams accidentally killed themselves, and then that opens up branches where there isn't a traitor amongst that first vote, and everybody did vote to keep it balanced. Alright, well, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. And if you want to support me further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and get me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.